TRS Murray sent in this. This is a really good video. Let me just see now. Do I have it? Yes, I do. So this rider is working on a circle, and she's coming up to a little cavaletti. Looks like a lovely quiet horse. Am I showing it, Randy? Am I just talking? Okay, good.
Oh, I can see it. I see it. So as I'm watching it, first, this is a challenging curve to come around that corner. I love the use of the cones, by the way. I love cones because they really help. So that what she's doing is she's setting this rider up to jump on a sharp corner, which is very challenging for anybody. So kudos to the rider. What I like about the rider as she comes through is that as she starts the circle, is she's so balanced. Look at how balanced. You know, so she's taking the horse with her instead of the horse falling in and out. Now, as she comes up to the jump, right about there, you see where she disconnected and she popped her elbows? That might be what you're seeing as a trainer. For somebody like this...
Is that it there, Randy?
This is where she starts. But see, she's okay here. Now here at this point, she's going to start locking up her body. See her starting to do weird things with her body?
Yep, she's hollowing her back. Her lower leg looks pretty good.
Yep. So she's jumping ahead of the horse just ever so slightly. So you see she's brought her chest down to the horse's neck instead of keeping her seat back and sitting down, which is going to cause what's going to happen in the next step where her hand pops off the mane. So here she is. She's getting, so here, see, this is okay, but she's crunching her rib cage down. You can see she's like dropping her rib cage over her belly at this point. And that's instead of going into her lower legs and solidifying. And this is like a second of time. She should go deeper into her legs, and instead of scrunching her rib cage down over her pelvis. That's where she loses it.
Yeah, right there.
Locked up everything. Not a bad thing. She slides off the back of the saddle, and that's just a sign that she's locked up for this 2 seconds of time in the riding position. And it's not a bad thing. It'll be easy for a trainer. I think the trainer sent this in. Awesome job with this rider. So all she has to do is, like we talked with the last rider, do the exercises where this rider could practice riding with their eyes closed a little bit, or slanted eyes, whatever you want to use, so they start feeling it. One hand on the mane to keep their upper body back, and to keep their hand on the mane, because she disconnects there because she's locked up on her body, and she takes it back. Her hands, her whole upper body stiffens up right here.
Yep.
And that's just because she's lost the spring. So get her to put her hands there, use a neck strap, do all the exercises we've talked about, and just get her comfortable. Again, I would, with this rider, maybe not on this turn because it's hard to turn with your eyes closed. I would have her get used to the idea, let her find her balance. Her tipping point is what I call it. See, like right here, she's tipped over the front.
Then all of a sudden, she feels that she got left back and she's landing right into her knees.
That's right. And then the horse falls apart, loses his balance, and comes down. See the horse, how he's falling? I mean, they come down. But right here, now what she's going to do is she's going to sit back here where she should be sitting back more over the fence and watch the horse drop down and gate. And he just falls on his forehand automatically. But it shows you this rider has got the ability to do this.
And then she gets back in balance.
That's right.
So it's just
that.
Okay, there looks good. And I'm just trying to do frame by frame. That looks okay.
Well, yep, right here's where she's collapsing her body.
There, she gets kind of left behind in the back of the saddle.
That's right, because she's starting to put her weight into the front instead of into her lower legs. And it's like, there. See? This is where she's locking herself up and pushing her seat back in the saddle, which is going to cause that jackknifing you're seeing. Now the next step, she's going to be jerked back with her upper body. Her hands are going to come off, and that's because her body's locked up.
Their hands start coming off, and she does not want to touch the horse's mouth. So rather than doing that, she rounds her shoulders to stay with the horse rather than staying in a balanced position.
Right, going deeper into her position, exactly.
Yeah, going deeper into her heel and lower leg, her base.
And here's where she starts locking up.
And there she's totally locked. She's got the stiff arms here.
Yeah.
And here's the,
which, jams right into the horse's back. So when they land, they're feeling boom. when they come down.
And look at this. If we took the horse away at that moment,
She would.
where would this rider land?
That's right.
Would she land in balance on her feet? Anybody have an answer to that question?
I do. She'll fall on her face. But
The other thing is that she stops right after, which is a little unfortunate.
It could, but that might be the process, because a lot of hunter-jumper riders, they'll ride a line and then they halt at the end because it helps set up a horse for lead changes and stuff. So that doesn't bother me as much. But, you know, the horse just kind of falls underneath of her. But that might be because that's what they've been doing, is doing at the end of the line halt. That's what I would say. So that doesn't bother me so much. She disconnects here unconsciously, I'm sure. And then she just brings the horse to a walk.
Does she bring the horse to the walk, or does the horse just kind of falls into a walk?
Watch her use her seat. Seat, lose seat. Oh, wait, here's my seat again. See it?
Yep. So if TRS Murray is here, and if you have any questions about that, or if anybody else has any questions about what's happening in this video, please put it in the comments. We'd love to. Okay, we're here. She says, yeah, she can land on her face. Yes. Yep. She says, we have a very small indoor, so we struggle. Yeah, I see it.
Oh, but you're doing a great job. If this is you, TRS, great job.
You're doing a wonderful job. The horse looks amazing, beautiful, soft, and good condition.
And that curve, as I said in the beginning,
60 by 50.
It's a tight curve, but you know, in Europe, a lot of the rings are smaller, and they get used to riding in it. The size of the ring will make you a better rider.
Yeah. So she says the ring is only 60 by 50.
That's
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you're doing a great job, and the horse looks in beautiful condition. Like, look at the shiny coat and good weight and everything. Lovely.
Happy horse.
We will be working on our 100 by 200. We will be working on starting this week. Woohoo! Awesome.
Ooh, nice.
Excellent. Yeah. So do this rider with a neck strap around the horse's neck to loop her fingers, or a martingale strap or something around so that she cannot pop up. It's almost like she gets up too early. And you said that you've been working with her with one hand behind her back. I think that's a really great exercise to put one hand behind her back. But I think it all stems from her lower leg. And if she's got a secure lower leg underneath her, she'll be less likely to pop back and really try to follow with her hands. So I would start with trot rails, 2-point trot rails, 2-point moving and keeping her leg secure.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. It just takes practice. Leg.
Up under the leg, and you can see that her leg is just ever so slightly swinging, and that's kind of accentuated.
Yes.
When she goes over the jumps here. Let's just see if I can zoom it up.
Look at her seat. Looks in a nice place. Here's where she started jumping too soon. That's where you've left. You lock up your legs. You get up into your knee and into your lower leg, and it's ever so slightly. You're just out. You jumping before the horse jumps.
This looks good, but looks like you're pinching with your leg. Let's see what happens in the next one. Love the way your heel's going down.
Yep.
Okay.
And look at how nice her hands are.
So great, because we can go frame by frame or whatever.
Right.
Okay, so if you notice here, look at where her foot is.
Yep.
Her stirrup is right by the horse's elbow.
Yep, she's pushed her legs forward, which will push your seat back and results in the jackknifing you did over the first time.
Exactly. So you push her feet, she wants to put her heels down, which is great.
Yes.
But she's put her heels down by jamming her foot forward, and to keep in balance, she's pushed her seat towards the back.
Right. You've locked, and doing so locks up all of your joints, so you don't have the spring to be able to stay with the horse's movement.
Okay. Now look where her leg is.
Mm-hmm.
It's swung back.
Yep.
So let's go here.
Yep. That's when she tips over to the front.
There you can see forward by her elbow, and now it's swung back. And
next she'll tip over the chest. Well, it's a bounce, so let's see.
So there, her back looks okay, but this is what. Okay, I'm gonna try and see if I can do it.
See her starting to tip.
Yep.
Woo! So that's what happens right there. And there's not a bad thing, but that's where you can clearly see she is pushing herself to the back of the saddle by thinking that she's bringing her legs forward to hold her position. And it's not a bad thing. It's just if you lock up your body, you can't follow the horse's movement, and that pushes you out of the saddle, which causes you to duck. Like the next step, you're going to notice she's going to duck down to the chest.
Yeah,
down
so here she's rounded her shoulders, so her hands have come off the neck. Right? And she's rounded her shoulders so she doesn't. But look where her leg is. It is by the horse's elbow again.
Pushing her seat back.
Yeah. And now her leg is starting back. There, exactly. Her weight has come off of her lower leg. Her heel has come up. See where her leg is now? And then she does the rounding thing. So she needs to keep her position for a little bit longer, and she comes back up too early.
Right. You know, it's really just a 2-point position. You just stay in that. So what's happened, like with every other rider in the world and all of us, is that you're thinking, I would say unconsciously, this rider is jumping ahead of her horse instead of just sitting there. So all she has to do is practice, just sit there. Whatever exercises you have, whether it's the hand behind the back or whatever, you know, there's so many things
quietly.
that you do. Just sit quietly and don't tip. Feel the tipping point.
Develop the lower leg.
Yeah.
So it's not swinging. Now, if you just focus on her lower leg, you can see it, particularly, you know, when she's cantering by, it's not that bad. But as soon as you get to the cavaletti, it really accentuates what's happening with her leg, swinging, that you can see it. And this means to me that this rider needs to be working on developing her lower leg. I think this rider would benefit from the up, down exercise, doing a trotting, either outside or in the arena here, going straight on a circle, and stand in your stirrups in your 2-point position for, I do 2 steps and 1 step down, up, down, up, down, up, down, or do 5 steps, 2-point, 5 steps rising, 5 steps, 2-point, 5 steps riding. So they develop that ability to stay in the 2-point and feel what's happening underneath them.
So lovely rider, nice horse. You've really done a nice job developing the more they are. This is just the nitty-picky stuff that makes the difference, because the reality is most of us compete.
Yeah, and if you put the jumps up higher, it's just going to accentuate what you're seeing here.
Right.
You know? So I would, back up the bus. Not that, I mean, she's fine, she's safe, she's not interfering, but she is kind of getting, her hands are coming off the neck as she's landing, and we'd like for her to keep her hands on the neck until she's landed. So keep in that 2-point position. Okay. So any questions coming in there, Randy?
I don't see any.
Oh, okay.
I see them. I can psychically, I can hear questions. Like I remember when I first came to the aha moment of realizing that the most important thing was to be anchored into the leg and to keep the seat over there and stuff. It's such a profound place to be. So some people are seeing it for the first time. It's got to be a life-changing experience. Would ground poles before the jump help? They could, but this is your position we're talking about.
Yeah. It's gonna accentuate whatever is happening. Whatever's happening that you don't like to have happen, it's going to accentuate the weaknesses that are in that rider's riding position. So if you put a pole in front of the jump, that's just going to accentuate more whatever it is that you really don't want to see. So I would back it up and put 2 or 3 ground rails, 2 or 3 trot poles on the ground,
and then slowly build it up. Slowly build it up and just become aware of when do you tip, when do you disconnect.
Yeah, slowly build it up. I agree.
Because she's got the rest of the building blocks in place, so it'll be easier for her. All the riders that you shared today, they're good riders, and it's just basics that they can do that'll take them to another level with what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so if no more questions, okay, Lori Bradford says, watching now. Thanks for this, ladies. I now miss coaching. Yes. Excellent. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, and we will see you later. Now go use this stuff and go hug your horse. And what do you like to say, Randy?
See you on the other side of the fence.
Yes, thank you. Bye.